There's a molecule your body already produces. You can get it from food, but to benefit from its full potential, you kind of need to supplement. And research shows it can support fat loss, muscle growth, gut health, and longevity. We're talking about TMG, or trimethylglycine, also known as betaine. But how can TMG help burn fat and build muscle at the same time? And is it really better than steroids? TMG is a form of the amino acid glycine combined with 3 methyl groups. Methyl groups are tiny chemical switches that turn genes, cellular functions, and DNA activity on or off. Methylation is happening constantly in your body. Methylation involves adding a methyl group onto other chemical compounds, which then allows the body to do most of its processes, do what it needs to do. As we age, methylation happens less efficiently, and that affects how well we adapt, recover, and stay healthy. Let's look at some scientific research. A large meta-analysis in the Journal of Nutrients reviewed 6 human studies and found TMG supplementation significantly reduced fat mass and body fat percentage without reducing overall body weight, which means subjects were gaining muscle while losing fat. Animal research shows TMG appears to reduce the formation of white fat and support mitochondrial biogenesis, which means to increase your cell's energy production capacity. It also reduces fat accumulation inside muscle tissue, which improves the way muscle uses fuel. Even more interesting, researchers observed improved insulin sensitivity, which, as you know, is a key factor in preventing fat storage. Speaking of muscle mass and body fat percentage, it's helpful to have a way to measure those things if you're trying to improve. I've been using the Hume Health Body Pod for the last few months, and man, I love this thing. I use it mainly to measure my weight, muscle mass, body fat percentage, and visceral fat. And the cool thing is it's 98% accurate compared to DEXA, and I don't have to schedule an appointment. I can measure my body fat percentage anytime I want, and I love that. It's so cool. Now it can do a whole lot more than that. It can measure more than 40 different biometrics, but those are the 4 that me personally that I like to focus on. And I've noticed recently that this has become a very good tool for holding me accountable to following through on my exercise and watching my nutrition plan a little bit more closely, because you see that number, and that number does not lie. I found it to be very helpful and sometimes a little frustrating. Sometimes it's a little brutal to see the number and you haven't moved the needle much. If you want to try a Hume Health Body Pod, I have a link for you down below. You can save 15%, and that discount will stack on any sale that they might be having. So whatever the sales price is, you can get an additional 15%. Also, if you have an HSA or an FSA, you can use it to pay for this. It's a qualified expense, and in some cases, your health insurance will cover it. That is awesome, but you have to check with your provider on that. It's become very helpful for me, and I hope it'll help you. In another human study, subjects supplementing with TMG gained 1 kilogram of muscle, or 2.2 pounds, more than the placebo group over several weeks. Another study on trained athletes found increased muscle cross-sectional area and less intracellular water in the TMG group. So that means more actual muscle tissue, not just more water in the muscles. Other findings suggest increases in IGF-1, human growth hormone, and AKT phosphorylation, which is a muscle building pathway. So more muscle and less fat without the potential of performance-enhancing drug side effects. That's pretty awesome. And rare. And you know what else is awesome? You leaving a comment below. Let me know if you're taking TMG and how much you take. And leaving a comment helps other people see the video. Thank you. So where does TMG come from? Well, your body makes it, and you can also get it in foods, such as beets, shrimp, spinach, and wheat bran. I really believe that we should always get as much of our nutrition from foods whenever possible. With TMG, food definitely helps, but hitting the quantity or concentration to produce the intended beneficial effects that we've just discussed is really difficult. This is why supplementation is commonly used in scientific research. Now let's talk about longevity. and some shocking information. Of course, gaining muscle mass and reducing fat certainly helps with longevity, but let's take a look at cardiovascular health. Homocysteine is a marker of cardiovascular health. Elevated homocysteine increases cardiovascular risk and is associated with an 80% increase in all-cause mortality. So when we're talking about all-cause mortality, we're talking about the chance of dying from any cause. And 80% is a lot. For every 5 micromoles per liter increase in homocysteine, mortality risk jumps by 33%. You gotta pay attention to your homocysteine levels. So talk to your doctor about getting checked. So here's what's interesting about TMG and cardiovascular health. TMG helps convert homocysteine to methionine, lowering homocysteine levels safely and consistently. Studies have shown that doses as low as 1.5 to 6 grams per day have demonstrated reductions of 12 to 20%. One of the strongest lab predictors of mortality lowered by a simple amino compound. And add to that increasing muscle while losing fat. It's also relatively easy to get and affordable. I get my TMG from Do Not Age, and if you're interested in trying TMG, I have a link for you down below. You can save 10%. Emerging research shows TMG may also reduce expression of TLR4, which is linked to gut inflammation. TMG may also increase zonulin, which supports gut barrier integrity. That means stronger gut lining and potentially less systematic inflammation, and both are critical for healthy aging. All of this is great, but how much should you take? Most studies use 2 to 10 grams per day. I've been taking 2 to 4 grams per day. And the good thing is, research shows very little downside, very low risk of side effects, if any, in healthy individuals. Because it's simply a methylated amino acid, it's usually very well tolerated. So, is TMG better than steroids? Well, if you're focused only on building huge amounts of muscle in a very short period of time, no, TMG is not going to be better for that. But if you're looking for an affordable, safe supplement that has the potential to increase muscle mass and reduce fat simultaneously, as well as reduce cardiovascular risk and help with longevity, as well as improve gut health, well, there's a pretty good argument for TMG. When speaking about TMG, you may have also heard about another popular supplement called NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide. And you may have heard about taking TMG along with NMN. If you take NMN, it's generally recommended that you will also take TMG, about a 1-to-1 ratio. If you're interested in more information on that topic, check out this video right over here.